Good day, class. We are here again for a new lesson: crop care and maintenance, harvesting and post-harvesting practices. The content standard. The learners demonstrate an understanding of the concepts and skills in agri-crops. For the performance standard, the learners perform agricultural practices in crop production based on industry standards. For the learning objectives: 1. Discuss care and maintenance of crops. 2. Discuss harvesting and post-harvesting practices. And 3. Perform agricultural practices in crop production. Here are the references for this lesson. As a start, let us have the picture talk. Can you identify what is in the picture? Good job! They are planting. How about this one? What can you see on the picture? Very good! It is an irrigation. Can you try this? What is the picture about? Nice try! It is fertilizer application. Now, let us unlock the meaning of words we can encounter in our discussion. Crops. These are plants or plant produce that can be raised, cultivated, and harvested for subsistence or profit. They may be classified as food crops, cash crops, forage crops, oil crops, industrial crops, fiber crops, and ornamental crops. Pesticides. These may be natural or organic or commercial products that control the widespread of pests and diseases in the agricultural field. Irrigation. It is the process of maintaining the moisture and water content of soil needed for the plant growth. Herbicides. These may be natural or organic or commercial products that control the widespread of weeds in the field. Cultivation. This is the process of loosening the hardened soil through plowing or harrowing. It is believed to control weeds and pests in the farm. Fertilizer. These may be natural or organic or commercial products applied to increase the nutrients into the soil. Trellis. These may be made from wood or metal that serves as support for climbing and crawling crops. Now let's go to our main lesson. Here are agricultural practices we can apply. Those are site selection, land preparation, crop selection, planting and transplanting. Site selection. Selecting the right sites is crucial. For optimal sunlight, warmth, and protection from the wind, it is preferable to choose northeasterly slopes. Careful attention must be paid to growing on slopes due to their susceptibility to erosion. Land preparation. Thorough land preparation ensures the proper growth of crops and good harvests. It is therefore essential that the plants be provided with the best soil conditions for their growth and development. The benefits derived from thorough land preparation are as follows. Conservation of soil moisture. Soil moisture conservation is crucial in regions where the dry season lasts longer than the rainy season. Control of weed growth is achieved. Weeds are considered the enemies of plants in various ways. Loosening the soil allows for the free circulation of air, accelerates the decomposition of animal wastes and plant residues. Crop selection. Selecting the right crop is crucial for successful crop farming due to shifting climatic conditions and should be a priority before starting a farming project. There are two categories of seed varieties: traditional and improved. Planting. Planting is fundamental to the success of agronomic crops. It is the process of placing plants into the ground or into a container of soil so that they will grow. Here are several critical factors associated with planting. Timing of planting, planting techniques, quality of seeds and soil preparation. Transplanting. It is the process of relocating a young plant from one place to another. Here are some important aspects of transplanting plants: removing the plant from its pot, examining the roots, separating soil-covered roots gently, loosening the soil if it is compacted in the container, placing the plant in a dug hole, positioning the plant at ground level or slightly higher in loose or sandy soil, firmly pressing the soil around the plant with your hands, watering the plant. Now, let's move on with crop care and maintenance. Maintaining crops is a common activity for farmers. Quality crops and consistent yields can only be achieved through regular and correct crop maintenance. Here are some methods to protect and maintain crops. There are different types of crops, namely food crops, cash crops, feed or forage crops, fiber crops, oil crops, ornamental crops, industrial crops. Food crops. This is primarily raised, cultured, and harvested for human consumption. It may be classified as field crops or root crops. Field crops are grown on a large scale for commercial purposes. This includes fruits and vegetables, wheat, rice, corn, sugarcane. Root crops are underground plant parts for human consumption. Examples are carrot, potato, peanut, radish, etc. Cash crops. This type of crops is sold for profit. It can be exported to other countries as well. Examples are coffee, cocoa, sugarcane, and other exportable crops. Feed or forage crops. This type of plant is usually raised, cultured, and harvested for livestock consumption. Examples are corn and pasture grasses. Fiber crops. This type of plant is usually raised, cultured, and harvested for its fibers to be used as a raw material. Examples are cotton, abaca, banana, or pineapple fiber. Oil crops. This type of plant is usually raised, cultured, and harvested for production of oil. Examples are sugarcane, palm tree, coconut, etc. Ornamental crops. This type of plant is usually raised, cultured, and harvested for decorations in the garden and landscape projects. Examples are orchids, rubber tree, bougainvillea, and rose. Industrial crops. This type of plant is usually raised, cultured, harvested, and processed by industries for the production of non-edible materials. Example is tobacco. Here are the variables that influence crop production: water, soil, wind, temperature, sunlight, seed selection, knowledge, and crop care and maintenance. Crops are also classified according to growth habits. This includes herb, vine, liana, shrub, tree, evergreen, and deciduous. In addition, these crops may be considered as annual, biennial, or perennial crops. Annual crops. These plants complete their entire life cycle from germination to seed production and death within a single growing season, typically 1 year. They need to be replanted every year. Examples include rice, wheat, corn, lettuce, and tomatoes. Biennial crops. These plants have a 2-year life cycle. In the first year, they grow leaves, stems, and roots vegetative phase. In the second year, they flower, produce seeds, and die. Examples include carrots, onions, cabbage, and beets. Perennial crops. These plants live for more than 2 years and can produce crops year after year without needing to be replanted. They may go dormant in winter and regrow in spring. Examples include fruit trees, apples, oranges, asparagus, and alfalfa. Practices of crop care and maintenance. Cultivation. Cultivation refers to the stirring of the soil through plowing or harrowing. Cultivating the soil is one of the most effective ways to control weeds and pests. The primary goal of soil cultivation is to enhance soil structure, leading to better water retention, improved penetration of air, water, and nutrients, and aiding in weed control. Good quality and healthy seeds and seedlings should be considered prior to sowing and planting, respectively. Correct depth of soil of 1.5 to 2 inches deep is important for sowing seeds to ensure proper moisture. Irrigation. Crops require water because water prevents crops from drying out, especially during drought. However, the amount of water differs from each variety of crops. There are various ways in which farmers irrigate the crops: manual, drip, and sprinkler irrigation. Fertilizer application. If the soil is deprived of nutrients, it requires management of nutrients such as application of fertilizers, manures, and compost to enrich the soil content. Weed control. Weeds lead to the reduction of crop yield, increased production costs, and increased incidence of pests and diseases. To control weeds, methods employed include hand weeding, mechanical cultivation, application of pesticides. Manual weeding or hand weeding is a time-consuming and labor-intensive method. Laborers use their hands and/or sickle or scythe to remove weeds. Mechanical weeding uses machinery to remove weeds such as Kona weeder, power tiller, basket hoe. Chemical weeding uses herbicides to remove seeds. They may be considered selective or non-selective herbicides. Pests and diseases control. To drive away pests, farmers apply pesticides. There are different varieties of pesticides and each of them has a particular function. This includes herbicides, insecticides, fungicides, molluscicides, and rodenticides. However, farmers are encouraged to employ eco-safe and eco-friendly ways to control pests and diseases. This may include production of organic pesticides and encouragement on the presence of organisms that kills pests. Support for climbing plants. There is a need to provide support for climbing and crawling plants such as bitter gourd, squash, string beans. Trellis may be made of wood or metal. Harvesting and post-harvesting practices. Manual harvesting is employed through the use of mechanical tools such as sickle or scythe for broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower. Some vegetables are mechanically harvested. Storing the produce contributes to price stabilization. It also contributes to the preservation of the produce. In storage should consider the following parameters: free from mechanical, insect, and disease injury, and matured crops. There are changes that occur on the produce such as water loss, conversion of starch and sugar, flavor changes, color changes, toughening, softening, vitamin gain or loss, sprouting, rooting, and decay. This deteriorates the quality of produce, so proper storage is needed. Pre-marketing operations and selling. This stage involves washing, trimming, waxing, pre-cooling, grading, pre-packaging, and packaging. Pre-cooling involves rapid removal of heat from freshly harvested vegetables, slows natural deterioration of the produce, slows the growth of decay, and retards water loss. Grading ensures that the crops are classified according to their size, shape, color, and ripeness. This establishes a good trade. Packaging. The products are placed in bags, trays, cartons, crates, and hampers of various kinds and sizes. This furnishes a convenient means for transport, loading, and stacking with security and economy space. Selling. Farmers sell their produce through retail or wholesale. Now it's quiz time. Directions. Identify the different agricultural practices involved in each situation. Choose your answer inside the box. Write your answer on a sheet of paper. Ready? Start! Here is the answer key. 1. Transplanting. 2. Site selection. 3. Land preparation. 4. Crop selection. 5. Planting.